I'm going to try this again, and hopefully this works. My name is Richard Lewis Brown, your local 1000 president. Today is June 3rd, 2025. If you can hear me on Facebook or YouTube, send me a text, 408-207-2339. I hope this works this time. I'm doing it again. June 3rd, 2025, I am Richard Lewis Brown, your local 1000 president. I got your back because I truly care. I'm willing to die for you. I am still your local 1000 president. I'm fighting in court to be reinstated. I will be reinstated because the law is on my side. And even though I've been losing so far in court, I haven't lost hope because I know I'm serving my righteous destiny. Can you hear me? I hope everyone can hear me because I'm talking as loud as I can, and hopefully I figured out what was wrong on my first recording this evening. All right. As I said, I'm battling in court with my own money, fighting our union's money against me. Let me say that for you again. I'm using my own money to battle my union while they use your money. Okay, great. While they use your money to battle me to keep from being reinstated. Okay? Say it for you again. I'm using my money, and I don't have any money. That's why I can't afford a lawyer, and no lawyer would take my case on pro bono or contingency basis to battle the union for my reinstatement because they're stuck on stupid because of their vigilante justice. All right? Because I really care about you. They're dancing on videos with your money to fight me, putting a lien on my home. This childlike, condescending, invalid contract that they tell you they're fighting for, garbage. Garbage. I'm the chief negotiator for the bylaws and the policy file. 2018 bylaws, 2020 policy file when I was elected. Anything they've done on March 5th, 2022 going forward, vigilante justice, it's invalid. The 3 statewide vice presidents of Local 1000 suspended. The person's name in this childlike, condescending, invalid contract, Irene Green, statewide vice president of bargaining, she's suspended February 25th, 2022 of her official duties. No ifs, ands, and buts. And you think they're fighting for you. This so-called individual of the union, Attica Walls, check her green card. Because I don't think she's here in this country legally. She's got you convinced of her transgendered lies. She's not fighting for you. She doesn't care about you. She's suspended of her official duties. When they come through here in California, when ICE comes through here, they should go right down to Local 1000 and make sure she's here in this country legally. Make sure Irene Green's here legally. She may have left Africa and came over here illegally. I don't know. Check David Jimenez, Secretary Treasurer. He's suspended of his official duties. These people are acting like they care about you. They do not. They never have cared about you, and they can't help it. Listen to how I say this to you. That's what they were created to do. Cause chaos, cause confusion, cause you to be treated like a slave. That's what they were created to do. If they tell you they were created for something else, if they tell you they were not created for evilness and jealousy and envy over me, your duly elected Local 1000 president, because I have my self-esteem, I know my special destiny. If they tell you they were not created for that, then they're telling you they had a choice. Well, again, they just transgendered their lie all over again. Because some people tell me they were born a boy or a girl, but then they said they wanted to be somebody else of a different sex. So which one is it? Was you born that way, or did you make that decision? That's why I said you can't transgender the truth. And I won't back up. See, real leaders are transparent. They're honest. They have integrity. They inspire others. They don't ask anyone to do something they're not going to do themselves. When I ask you to fight and follow my direction, I'm doing it already with my money on my time. And yes, they ran me out of the state of California. They created a hostile work environment. Like for many of you who go to work every day in a hostile work environment, I was told, if you go back to your job, we're going to fire you. So I had to retire so I could fight Local 1000 full time. See, this incurable disease called this childlike, condescending, invalid contract, this CCIC, it doesn't protect your wages. It doesn't protect your salary increases. It doesn't give you dignity in the workplace. It doesn't do any of that. It doesn't give you permanent telework, geo-pay, COLA. What happened to your essential worker premium pay that I was leading the fight on? What happened to that? They want you to forget about all that. I'll never let the state of California forget about how they treated you and how you kept coming, you kept working from home. If you kept coming to work, you kept the fourth largest economy going. We never lost up. And then they're going to tell you, you got to come back to work every single day or 3 days a week, starting July 1st. That's garbage, Gavin Newsom, because he's garbage, because he doesn't have his self-esteem. See, hurt people hurt other people. People who don't have their self-esteem, like Irene Green, she doesn't have her self-esteem. How is she leading? She wasn't voted to be the leader. I was voted to be your leader. She has no self-esteem, Irene Green. Her or her husband, Vincent Green. Now, you probably would say, well, Richard, don't make this so personal. Oh, it's always personal. See, when you're fighting for what is right, it's always personal because it comes from the divine. And that's why I'm not backing up. And when I tell you I'm the Local 1000 president, you say, well, you can't say that. Then take me back to court. But you won't, because you know the righteousness of the law is on my side. Not just up in heaven, but here on earth as well. On earth as it is in heaven. Now, I know it's not Wednesday night, but I'm preaching tonight. Your union is not a union. It's a social justice organization for the Democratic Party. And that's why when they elected me, I said, we're getting out of politics because half of our union are non-Democrats. So in order to unify your union, you cannot be involved in politics because in this country, politics is too divisive. Either you're a Democrat and you demonize the Republicans, or you're a Republican and you demonize the Democrats. Both are trouble. I'm here to get you paid your money. I don't care what party you belong to. I don't care if you're gay, you're straight, you're black, you're white, you're a Muslim, you're a Jew, Native American. As long as you're in this country legally, which you have to be to work from the state of California, allegedly, but we don't know about Annika Walsh and David Jimenez. We're going to check them. But they're already suspended of their official duties anyway. See, some people think they can get over on you. I've always told you the truth. I've never lied to you. Let me read to you something on that email that I had sent out. Let me read this to you, because this is a quote by me. A labor union negotiates for its people an enforceable, signed, dated, and printed contract for a specified period of time. I'm going to read it to you again. A labor union negotiates for its people an enforceable, signed, dated, and printed contract for a specified period of time. A union contract is always signed by its president, its leader, not by the vice president, not by anyone else. That's why you have a union president, and they lead with authority. And they sign that contract. Their name's on top. Now, there may be some names underneath their name, but the president is the one that signs that contract. I'm your president. I didn't sign that childlike, condescending, invalid, garbage contract. Let me continue on with this quote that I have. A union contract is always signed by its president, parentheses leader. This contract is always printed within 3 months of ratification that always guarantees job security with absolutely no job loss. Why sign a union contract if they can send your job or outsource your job tomorrow? Okay? Substantial secured wages with substantial salary increases. Listen to how I say this. A union contract gives you substantial wages. Why pay your dues? Why pay your dues if you're not getting substantial pay increases? Okay? Listen to this. Substantial secured wages with substantial salary increases with no offsetting deductions. No offsetting deductions. Ain't none of that garbage OPEB. And professional working conditions completely absent of management abuse. How many of you are going to work in a hostile work environment? Too many of you. And what does the union do for you? Nothing. Nothing. But if they were having a rally for people to come across the border illegally and live in these sanctuary cities in the state of California, oh, they'd be all on that. Yes, they would be. If they were talking about getting, fight for $15 an hour up to $20 an hour for these restaurant workers, they'd be all on that. But to get you a substantial pay increase, oh, they don't have time for that. It's a social justice organization. Now, here's the rest of this quote. A political entity, on the other hand, relies upon the mercy of politics and the pleasure of political leaders in order to obtain for its people what a labor union always guarantees.
He makes me
its
lie
people.
Down in lush green pastures
Okay.
of abundance.
Hold on one
He
second.
leads
What
me
is
beside peaceful,
this?
refreshing waters. He restores and renews my soul. He guides me along.
Hold on one second here. I'm getting some noise here.
To his name, even when I must walk through the darkest valley.
Hold on one second here.
Through the shadow of death itself.
I don't know what's going on.
No evil or harm, for you are always with me.
Oh my goodness. Hold on one second here.
Staff of guidance.
What is going on here?
Peace. You prepare a bountiful table before me in the very presence of those who oppose me. You anoint my head with oil of blessing. My cup of abundance overflows with your goodness.
I don't know where this voice is coming from. I'm going to keep going. This is how tonight's going. I'm getting the Bible verse. Let me keep going here.
In his presence.
Because I don't know where this is coming from.
Forever and ever. Let us declare together, the Lord is my shepherd and provider. All right. So we're going to keep going. Good. A political entity, on the other hand, relies upon the mercy of politics and the pleasure of political leaders in order to obtain for its people what a labor union always guarantees its people through bona fide contract negotiations. That is my quote on May 24th, 2025 at 12:37 p.m. Now that Bible verse just came out of, I don't know where, I guess it was on YouTube. It was talking about Psalms 23 about don't be afraid. Okay, so let's just keep going here. This was sent out in the email. All right. Now, that was so important what I read to you about a labor union. Local 1000 has never been a labor union. It's always been a social justice organization affiliated with SEIU International in DC. And that's why you see them always supporting the Democrats. And they tell you that politics matters because they're relying on the mercy of political leaders. See, a union doesn't rely on the mercy of no one. A labor union, relies upon its strike fund and the unity of its people. And once you bargain in good faith for a period of time and you reach a legal impasse, you take a strike vote. If the strike vote comes back yes, you go on strike. You shut the state down. You don't go on one-day strikes. That's garbage. That's garbage. Well, we're going to go on a one-day strike. What does that show? When you go on strike, you're not coming off that strike until you reach a settlement of substantial pay increases, period. Or anything that's substantial that you know you gotta have. You don't go on one-day strikes. You don't dance on videos. You don't get involved in political matters that divides your union in half. You don't do that kind of garbage. But see, Local 1000 has done that since 1984 when they first affiliated with SEIU International in Washington, D.C. I was educating you all this on my Wednesday night videos when I was over at the headquarters. And that's why they had to get me up out of there. See, Gavin Newsom was fighting his recall. And I wouldn't give him any money because I held true to what I said I was going to do. No political spending. He says, well, if Richard won't give me any money, run his ass up out of here. That's what he said. And that's why they had that illegal board meeting October 16th and 17th, 2021, Sacramento Democratic headquarters. They wouldn't have had that meeting at the Sacramento Democratic headquarters for the state of California without Gavin Newsom's permission. You don't like what I'm saying? Sue me. I'm still the president of Local 1000. I'm fighting vigilante justice. And I'm willing to die for you. So when they're telling you we're marching with these other unions, those other unions, they're garbage too, in my opinion. Because if you signed a contract that didn't guarantee your wages and working conditions and salary increases, you're stupid. You don't have a contract. You have an agreement. The hell with an agreement. I want a written contract, enforceable by law, guaranteeing no job loss for the period of time in that contract. That's what a union contract does. If you think a union contract does anything else, you need to move to a third world country. That's what a union contract does. They're trying to convince you that they're fighting for you. They're liars in all that they say. They were created to tell lies. When Bill Hall was put into that chair, he's a liar through his teeth. Yeah, and he's the one that called me a nigger. I never backed up what I said. When they told me to suck a dick and eat a dick, eat a man's penis or a woman's penis. I guess, you know, in California, women can have penises. But yet you didn't see not one single person from the gay community come and say, that's homophobic, that's sexist, that's not right. You didn't see no black folks come and say, that's racist. Nobody came to my rescue. But God. But God doesn't come to my rescue. He's always here with me. See, I know who elected me. And to all those white people up and down the state of California, in those small rural towns, and some of you live in bigger cities, I have not forgot you. Your life matters. It always has. You are my equal. I am your equal. We're in this together. We're Americans. And I don't have to demonize you or your whiteness for me as a black man to get ahead in this country. I don't have to demonize you. I just ask you for a measure of respect. I don't have to demonize the Democrats, but the truth is, you ran me out of office because you couldn't respect the will of the voters. You didn't like what I said because I'm not willing to be one of those black people that you can put on your political plantation and walk around and tell them what to do and how to feel. The hell with you, Democratic Party. You don't control me. The Republican Party doesn't control me either. I'm a man that stands on his own two feet. I don't need neither one of those political parties to support me because I'm standing on righteousness' sake. Okay? I'm standing on righteousness' sake. Does that mean that I hate the Democrats? No, I don't hate the Democrats. I don't hate the Republicans. What I'm here to do is get you paid a substantial pay increase for a period of time, absent of management abuse. That's what I'm here to do. And I hope everyone can hear me clearly when I say these things. That's what I'm here to do. None of these so-called suspended leadership of Local 1000 or any of these other so-called leaders of Local 1000, they'll never take me on a video. Why? Because they're liars. They're transgendered liars. They can't even get their lies straight. But they were born a liar. That's what God created them to do, lie and cause confusion. That's not their fault, really. But if they tell you they weren't created to lie and cause confusion, then that's the choice they made. So they're choosing to lie to you. I'm telling you, through the spirit world of righteousness, they were created to do these evil things to you. I'm your leader. God sent me to you to help you. I've already won. I've already won. It's just a matter of time when I'm reinstated. And all these people who took part of that illegal 2024 new leadership election, they're going to be held responsible for their actions. All of them. Every single last one. Anybody who participated in that illegal election or that illegal contract ratification, you're going to be held responsible. Because you knew what you were doing. And even if you did not know that they had, quote, removed me illegally, and that they were already suspended, ignorance of the law does not protect you. You will be held responsible. And I know a lot of people say, well, Richard, eventually they're going to come to you and they're going to offer you all this money and then they're just going to make you go away. Is that what you think? Oh, you think they can buy me? Oh, you think you can buy my integrity? You can buy my soul? Is that what you think? See, this is real chocolate. This ain't no fake ass chocolate. So you have some black people, they claim that they're for the black community. The truth cannot be found in them. I'm the only one in this room that told you I'm a descendant of the enslaved African, and I'm proud of it. Because I was never inferior, and neither were the Africans that came over here. We were never inferior. Ever. So I have my self-esteem. It's unfortunate that Irene Green and the other African Americans in the Union, they can't find theirs. Trust me on this. They can't find their self-esteem. The truth is not in them. So now you say, well, Richard, you're talking kind of negative towards black people. I will tell you what it is on anybody, regardless of your color. But if you want me to use your color as the cultural foundation to talk about you, I'll do that too. That way you can really understand where I'm coming from. See, they didn't like it because I was outspoken and I was educated and I served this country. They didn't like that. Because they couldn't bully me and they couldn't manipulate me. And they said, well, who is he to tell us he won't support our political agenda? Who is he to tell us he's going to fight for those jobs for those white people in Lansing County? Who the hell is he? I'm Richard Lewis Brown. I'm Jenny's child. I'm a Perkins Brown product. That's who the hell I am. You say, well, you say you believe in God. I absolutely do believe in God. I'm not perfect. And I'm not telling you, you should believe in God. You should believe in what you believe. I'm not here to lead you anywhere. But what I am here to lead you to is some money and respect in the workplace. That I'm going to lead you to. Now, I'm going to have to drag some of y'all. Because some of y'all just ain't got it. Your self-esteem is whack. I can see the minorities not having their self-esteem. They've been told their whole life they weren't good enough. That's why they're asking for slave reparations and, you know, let's have an open border and all that stuff. I can see that. I can see their excuse. But it's the European Americans I can't see. I can't see why you don't have your self-esteem. Can't figure that out. What happened? Did you forget how your family fought like hell to get to this country? Have you forgotten where you came from? Where is your self-esteem? Where is your European pride and excellence? You gonna let Gavin Newsom just take and keep raping you? Not a sexual rape, but a financial rape, a dignity rape. He's been taking from you your money and your dignity over and over and over again. And the state of California has been raping you for God knows how long. So maybe how you feel, your feeling, is similar to a woman or a man who's been raped. Maybe those feelings are similar. You sympathize with the rapist. And so you keep going back to the rapist. You have Stockholm syndrome. I say you're stuck on stupid, but maybe that's too harsh. Maybe that's all that you know is you've been raped by the state of California, and you continue to be raped every day you go to work. Your boss talks to you. They demean you. They push you around. You say, I'm going to call my union. They said, go ahead. Here's the number. They laugh at you because they know they're going to rape you whenever they want to rape you. But the person you elected that was going to stop all that rape, stop all that financial assault, that dignity assault, that person is still here fighting for you. Because I believe in you, even though you don't believe in yourself. You say, what's the call to action, Mr. Brown? Well, President Brown would tell you, Don't listen to not one word they say. You should be listening to what I say. You should be telling all your state employee friends, colleagues, you need to follow Mr. Brown. He's our president. Don't listen to not one word they say, because all they're going to do is lie and get you raped all over again. You're already going back to work 3 days a week on July 1st. They tell you, oh, we're fighting in court. We're doing this and doing that. They're not doing anything for you. How do I know this? Because the court system is controlled by the Democrats. You got to have something that's so clear-cut. So clear-cut. And I have a case that's clear-cut. That's why I'm in the appeals court. If I don't win there, you think I'm going to stop? I'm never going to stop. This is my divine destiny. They can send all the cops to my house, all that they want. I have a destiny that has yet to be fulfilled. And so when I told you years ago, don't stop believing, hold on to that feeling, I've never changed my tune. But see, God had to show me who was really with me versus all the rest of you who were never for me. He had to take away the people who lack little faith, those who don't have a faith in a higher power. He had to remove those people. And I praise God for doing that so I could have clarity. I praise him for that. It gets lonely. Sure, I get tired. I'm just like you. I am human. But I haven't given up on you. So when you want to quit, and I tell people, don't quit state service. Because when I'm reinstated, we're going to get a massive pay increase of at least at a minimum 21% pay increase along with GO pay and COLA. And you say, well, Richard, that's impossible. No, the God I serve, everything is possible. That's the God I serve. Man, you don't have to serve a God. You don't have to believe in God. You can believe in anything you want to believe in. But the one thing that I'm going to convince you to do is to believe in yourself. Oh, I'm gonna go to work on you on that. I'm going to get you to believe in yourself and to work with me. And we're going to create the strongest labor union for public sector employees in this entire world. Oh, praise God. We're going to do this. We're not going to go away. We're going to keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. But we're going to do some real fighting. We're going to have to shut the state down. COVID couldn't shut the state down. We will. After we bargain in good faith, and when they tell us we don't have the money and we say, hey, we don't believe you, prove it. They won't be able to prove they don't have the money. They've been lying to you when they tell you they don't have the money. Did you see their checkbook? Did you see their financials? Or did you see what they wanted to show you? How can you have the fourth largest economy on earth and not have no money? But yet they have money to pay for health care for people who come across the border illegally. They got money for illegal immigrants, but they don't have money to give you a substantial pay increase, to compensate you for the invaluable service that you do. They don't have time for that. All right. So I'm glad that this video worked. Hopefully it was as good as the first video. I'm going to shut this thing down. It's going to go just under 30 minutes. The message tonight is I got your back. I'm willing to die for you. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not giving up. I'm right here. And you have to keep believing. And if you want to know what's going on, you have to follow me. You can't follow those people. You said, well, should we stop paying money to the union? Your money is being used to run me or keep me from being reinstated. That's what your money is being used for. You say, well, I need it for an insurance policy. No, you don't. I am your insurance policy. As long as I'm not there, you don't have no insurance. I'm going to tell you that. I never said that before, but I'm telling you that now. On June 3rd, 2025, the current leadership is suspended. Leaders, all of them. All of them. All right. June 3rd, 2025, I am your president, Richard Lewis Brown. If you think I've said something tonight that hurts your feelings, you can call me at 408-207-2339. If you think what I said is legally incorrect when I say I'm the president and this contract, Childlike, Condescending, Invalid contract, quote, is garbage, you think that's a legal slander, sue me. Go ahead. We go right down to Court 53 or Court 54 in Sacramento. Yeah, go ahead. They know who I am. They know who I am. Stay true, boys and girls. Stay true, boys and girls. Stay true, men and women. Stay true. I love you.